It is a pleasure to welcome you all, our valued industry partners, CNRL and Shoppers Drug Mart, members, distinguished guests, and of course, Minister Martin Long and his team. Our members are consistent in their message to us. They want us to continue our business advocacy, networking, roundtable events, and trade missions. Membership with AAG also includes member spotlight features, access to AAG health benefits through our partners ICBA, again supporting us there, Mike, thank you, and our Boom Loyalty Benefits program that provides deep discounts for a wide variety of services and products for you and your families. Today was made possible by, and we would like to thank our platinum sponsors, Open Circle, Gold Ray Glass, ICBA Alberta, CNRL, and Shoppers Drug Mart. Diamond sponsors are Ledcor, Big Picture Public Affairs. Gold sponsors are Alberta Council, Reimagine, and silver is Encore Hotels. We also want to thank our team who worked tirelessly behind the scenes through health and sickness. We've all got hit this year. Rebecca and Paul this last week. I'm so grateful that you were able to pull this together. And the team at Chateau Lacombe Hotel and our friends at TimeWise. Thank you all. I would like to now call on Mr. Mike Martins, President of ICBA, to welcome Minister Long.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. ICBA stands for the Independent Contractors and Businesses Association, and that independent part is we don't take any government money, and we support our companies, the contractors of Alberta, through business and services products funded through our group health benefits program that we have a partnership with the Alberta Enterprise Group. We're very proud to support those entrepreneurs, helping them become the best companies they can be. We're also very proud of our relationship with the Alberta Enterprise Group. I'm not sure, Catherine, when it started, roughly 6 or 7 years ago, when Bill C-69 became a big issue in Alberta. And that was the federal legislation that stopped natural infrastructure projects and development of natural resources. And together with AEG, we joined the government of Alberta in fighting it all the way to the Supreme Court, where we were victorious. A little bit of a sad victory because the federal government still has not changed any of those regulations. We hope that'll be happening soon. But together with AEG, we continue to fight against bills like C-59, which is the Silencing Act. It prevents anybody from advocating on behalf of Canada's natural resources and products. And together, those are things that we're very proud to work on together. And that's the heart of ICBA and who we are. And it's my pleasure now to introduce and welcome Alberta's Minister of Infrastructure, Martin Long. Minister Long brings valuable experience from both the private sector and public service, with a strong focus on practical, results-driven infrastructure investment. His work supports projects that strengthen communities, improve transportation and public facilities, and help Alberta continue to grow in a responsible and sustainable way. Today's discussion is a great opportunity to hear directly from Minister Long about current priorities and how infrastructure planning is supporting economic growth and long-term prosperity across the province. Minister Long, thank you for being here, joining us today, making yourself available. Please join me in welcoming Minister Martin Long.
Good afternoon. It's great to see some familiar faces and even some friendly faces in the crowd today. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of a really nice day outside to be in here today. It's such an honor to join you and be with this dedicated group of leaders, innovators, and partners in shaping the future of Alberta. Before I talk about numbers or projects, I wanted to just say a little bit about how I approach being the Minister of Infrastructure. I believe strongly in relationships. Relationships are the foundation of what we prioritize at Alberta Infrastructure, and foundations are what build the infrastructure that Albertans need. Over the past year, I've spent a lot of time out on job sites and in the field, meeting directly with contractors, owners, companies, and our frontline teams, mainly because that's where I'm more comfortable, coming from industry myself. And I don't do it for photo ops. I do it because I believe the best insights come from the ground. I go to hear what is working and what is not working, and where government can do a better job as partner. In fact, one of the sites, Vivian was walking with me around the site and made sure we got through the ArcRib site without any safety issues. But our jobs are interconnected. When things slow down in one part of the system, it affects everyone. When we work together to solve problems, when we all pull in the same direction, we deliver projects faster, at better value, and with better outcomes for Albertans. That's the approach I bring to this role: practical, straightforward, and focused on results. And this is why I really appreciate the time you've given me to come to speak with you all today. As Minister of Infrastructure, I see how our work reaches towns, cities, and rural areas throughout Alberta. Schools where children learn, hospitals where families receive care, and justice facilities that support safe communities. Indeed, everything we do impacts the families that call Alberta home. Alberta's economy is strong, resilient, and growing, and infrastructure plays a major role in this momentum. Industry leaders like the Alberta Enterprise Group know better than anyone that predictable timelines and transparent planning support investment. Our approach is guided by Alberta's 20-year strategic capital plan, Building Forward. This blueprint is more than a plan. It's a commitment to smart investments that put people first and support a vision for the next generation. Our ministry is guided by three priorities: supporting people with safe, modern public facilities, embracing innovation to improve efficiency and outcomes, and ensuring resilient, high-quality designs that adapt to Alberta's changing needs. In Budget 2025, Alberta's government invested more than $26 billion over the next 3 years in public infrastructure, a 4% increase from 2024. Alberta Infrastructure is responsible for $6 billion of this investment, covering hundreds of projects across the province, including new schools, health facilities, courthouses, and correctional centres. Education continues to be a top priority. We're dedicating $8.6 billion to build and update approximately 130 schools through the Schools Now program. As of December 31st, 2025, 10 schools have been completed, creating more than 7,600 new or modernized student spaces. These aren't just numbers. They represent classrooms where children can learn, can grow, and can thrive. Healthcare is another priority and area of investment for our government. We're focused on strengthening the services Albertans rely on at every stage of life. In Budget 2025, our government invested $3.6 billion to build, expand, and modernize health facilities. Of this, Alberta Infrastructure is responsible for about $2.1 billion under the capital plan, supporting roughly 70 health and mental health facility projects across the province. These projects are now in various stages of planning, design, and construction. Here in Edmonton, work continues on several major health projects, including the expansion and redevelopment of the Jean Swasdeski Centre at Norwood. The West Tower is complete and has been operating fully since January 2024, and the remainder of the work is underway. Once complete, the centre will offer 350 post-acute, complex, and long-term continuing care spaces. Together, these upgrades will make a real difference for families who need care close to home. We're also working on 457 capital maintenance and renewal projects with a combined total project cost of about $540 million to ensure buildings remain safe and functional. As we finalize the Budget 2026 capital plan, Alberta Infrastructure remains committed to delivering projects that benefit Albertans. These projects create jobs, support local businesses, and strengthen communities across the province. Our collaboration with communities and industry is essential. Alberta's builders, engineers, and trades professionals bring experience, innovation, and a deep understanding of local needs. When we work together early in the process, we shape projects that are practical, cost-effective, and built to last. Industry has told us that clear timelines, predictable procurement, and open communication help keep projects on track, and we are acting on that feedback. We're improving design standards, reducing administrative steps, and giving companies better visibility into upcoming opportunities so they can plan their workforce and secure materials sooner. This work will better support local businesses, strengthen supply chains, and create opportunities for workers across the province. When industry succeeds, Alberta succeeds. And we value the expertise and collaboration that make this possible. Each year, we award hundreds of contracts with 95% going to Alberta-based companies. These investments boost Alberta's economy by supporting local employers and the skilled tradespeople who keep construction moving. Of course, growth does bring challenges, including labor shortages, supply disruptions, and rising costs. By working closely with our partners, we're keeping projects on track. We're collaborating with jobs, economy, trade, and immigration to attract new talent to skilled trades and professions. This includes raising awareness in youth and people who are considering a career change, supporting training and apprenticeships, and promoting women in construction through programs like Women Building Futures. Beyond procurement improvements, we're enhancing how we deliver projects. We're standardizing designs, reusing school plans, and accelerating timelines by overlapping design and construction. Industry feedback has been instrumental in shaping these improvements. We recently removed the LEED certification requirement, streamlined contracts and procurement, and launched a new web portal to resolve construction issues more quickly. These improvements are backed by stronger legislation. The Real Property Governance Act supports strategic management of public lands and buildings, while amendments to the Public Works Act help ensure contractors and subcontractors are paid fairly and promptly. Alberta's construction sector isn't just building infrastructure, it's building opportunity and growth. Infrastructure investment drives Alberta's economy, and we're committed to delivering projects efficiently and partnering with industry to maximize value. With a positive outlook for construction in 2026, our ministry is committed to completing projects on schedule, on budget, and with the best value for taxpayers. Alberta's future is bright. With a strong labor force, a growing population, and a clear capital plan, the province is well positioned for continued leadership in construction and infrastructure efficiency. I look forward to the year ahead and to hearing your insights during the fireside chat. Thank you again to the Alberta Enterprise Group and to each of you for your time, your partnership, and your dedication to building Alberta together.
Thank you, Minister. And now we will call up Kathy Soroka, President of Gold Ray Glass, to do the fireside chat.
Is this working? Yay. Yeah, great. Thank you, Minister Long, for joining us today. We had quite a few of our AEG members who submitted questions before the event, and I'm just here to facilitate those questions for you. So, yeah. The first question is from Kim King from King Strategies. I think she's in the room today. Great. Perfect.
Hi, Minister. I'm hoping you can elaborate on how your ministry coordinates with all of the other ministries in government with competing priorities, prioritization, and executing on their infrastructure needs.
None of them are in the room to witness this answer, right? So, no, that's a great question, Kim. Thank you for that. Obviously, I don't think it's a secret that we've had a huge population surge these last few years. Typically, our province would rely on numbers around 50,000 people per year for our growth projections, and that's how we're planning our infrastructure projects. This last few years, we've seen upwards of 200,000 people per year for a few years in a row. So that has put major pressures on our public infrastructure. And with that kind of pressure, we have had to obviously work closely with education and healthcare ministries in particular to figure out what projects are needed where the fastest. And through that partnership, obviously our Premier announced the Schools Now program. I think most people in industry sort of gulped when the Premier announced that. I think it's a very positive announcement, forward-looking, and and obviously very strategic in getting kids in classrooms quickly. But that's something that we're aligning ourselves with the Minister of Education on. Obviously, healthcare as well. I didn't mention it here. An exciting project I was pleased to announce is the upcoming Stollery standalone children's hospital. I was able to announce the site selection for that a few months ago now. Oh my goodness, it's flying by. But again, aligning ourselves with the Minister of Health, or Health, HSHS, I guess, on that announcement. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the Minister of Jobs, Economy, Trade and Immigration, we need workforce, right? And we have to remove barriers to getting that workforce and getting students trained to enter the workforce and be willing to get on construction sites or get into different programs that will help support this major build out. So obviously, guess who else I'm coordinating with? The Minister of Post-Secondary Education. So broadly speaking, we all just have open door policies, and we continue to share with each other shortfalls that we find as we find them.
Thank you, Minister. Our second question is from Matt Gowdy, City of Lacombe. Matt, are you in the room? Do you remember what your question was?
I do.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. I'm one of two city managers here, and so we see the infrastructure challenges very much on the ground as communities continue to grow. How does Alberta plan to balance the needs of current Albertans and prepare for more while avoiding a sales tax?
Just to be clear, does anyone else not want a sales tax in the room? Or thank you for that. Through my ministry, we are extremely diligent, and just I think every month my department reminds me, when I talk about how we can save money, build projects faster, build them better, and save on our timelines. They remind me. I see Heather in the room. She'll remember this from our meetings, that over, was it the last 6 years, inflation and population costs have actually increased budget by 37%. Our ministry has only increased our costs by 2% in that same time frame. Every one of us has to do our part, obviously from minister levels, but across government. We are trying to remove hurdles, and again, in our area, for building public infrastructure, every delay costs more money. And we know we don't have more money to waste. Like, anyone see the price of oil today? Everyone's cringing. Like, every dollar that drops, it's $750 million out of our budget, right? Those are real numbers. So for us, we're extremely focused on, managing project delivery, not having delays, making sure that we are keeping our budget true when we announce it. And through those efforts, that's how we're making sure that we are spending taxpayer dollars wisely. Again, I don't have many constituents come to me asking for a sales tax, so I'm glad that there wasn't a huge show of hands saying that they do want one today. But that's what we can control on our end, though.
Russell Dock, Executive VP of Rohit, as a third question.
Wow.
Thank you. Appreciate you being here, Minister. I'm curious about the path forward on new health facilities, with the question more specifically on the proposed primary care, urgent care, and continuing care centers and that are being envisioned by the health ministries. Are they to be developed through Alberta infrastructure or alternative methods? And to what degree would AI be involved in procurement and standard setting for those facilities?
Well, that's a fun one. Thanks for that. It's good to see you again. So again, and we're primarily, I like to explain it to folks like this. Our health and education ministers determine their priorities. They give us the funding, then we go deliver. But broadly speaking, we're in a time right now where we have to recognize the value of private enterprise, right? And so you'll see more and more conversations in all avenues of public infrastructure on what opportunities might come out. We are at least a leader nationally in P3 projects. I would say that how we move forward is largely dependent on the feedback that we're getting from industry, right? And I mean, I like I said at the start of my chat, I'm a relationship guy personally, and how we can partner with industry and private company and delivering the best possible infrastructure for Albertans is always going to be our focus.
Thank you, Minister. We've got a few questions here from members that couldn't make it today, so I'll just help them out and take their place. What role do you see innovation and new delivery models playing in addressing Alberta's infrastructure gap, especially given the province's fiscal realities?
Well, as I shared earlier, we we need a lot of stuff built, right? And we are looking at partners in business and industry to come up with ideas. I actually have challenged my department specifically that when we're doing comparisons, to not be just comparing against governments. Like, it's very easy when we look around and say, well, we're better than Ontario, we're better than BC. But how are we doing compared to industry? How are we doing compared to business? And those are the questions that we need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves as government and in our ministry, because I guarantee that private industry, private business are looking around the globe at ways to innovate and save costs and have better timelines and deliver better. So we can't let them be exclusive on that. We have to be part of those conversations. That's how we will improve the way that government innovates, is when we're looking at our partners and having those conversations directly with them.
Thank you. AEG members, and I'm one of them, by the way, AEG members want to be part of the solution, not just to be observers of what's happening in our province. Where do you see the greatest opportunity for meaningful collaboration between government and the business community on specifically infrastructure delivery?
Again, I'm taking a bit of I hope it's a different approach. I've heard it's a different approach where I value feedback at all times. And so for us, we've had I shouldn't say countless. We've had a lot of roundtables so far. There's folks here in this room that have been part of those roundtables. For me personally, I'd like for folks to actually take me up on this, invite us out, invite us in for conversation so we can hear directly from you ways we can improve, things that we're occasionally doing right, I would hope. But also some of the things that you guys are learning, again, from around the globe on how we can be better. So that's the biggest thing for me is I know that sometimes folks feel like they're shut out, they're not allowed into government, or government doesn't want to hear. I'm telling you, we want to hear, right? I want to hear. And I know that that's a commitment that my department folks have brought back to me is they're actually coming to job sites with me. Some of them are like school children on those job sites, I'll say. They're just giddy to be out of their offices and out seeing how it's being done on the front lines. So engage with us, give us those opportunities. And again, let's partner together.
Is there a specific way that you would like someone to get in touch with you?
We're Said.
Okay. Call Said.
Call Said. Yeah, honestly, send it through our ministry email, or Said he's got more business cards than I do at this point. It's crazy. So, but yeah, connect with any of us, honestly. Grab me at an event like this and we'll figure out a way to connect.
Okay, thank you.
Said, as you guys, like his smile, it just lights up the whole room, right? Like, so fortunate.
We're hearing real concern from Alberta businesses about delays and uncertainty in infrastructure planning. What's being done to create more predictability so industry can plan, invest, and scale with confidence?
Oh, wow. Any of our partners want to answer some of this one? No, we're part of the contract procurement, things that we're working on, modernization, more predictability. I mentioned earlier the lead standards, things like that, that we're actually actively hearing feedback from industry and incorporating that. We're not just shutting a door and saying, no, we're doing it right. You guys sort of sit in your chair or stay in your lane. And so I will say that we are so fortunate to have such great partners. And a shout out to Warren Singh. I know he's on his phone. He's always on his phone today. But no, we've had from day one, I would say, Warren, or day two maybe, just an open door that folks are able to give us the feedback that we need to hear. Again, I'll just talk a little bit about my approach. I've said, man, I have a whole bunch of taglines. Forgive me for them. At the end of the day, I don't expect to see eye to eye with everyone in this room. I can't see eye to eye with everyone in my own house on every issue, so why should I expect it when I go to work, right? The other element of that, and I often have pictures of my kids on my phone, much like everyone in this room probably does. Not my kids, your own kids. But I can't say no to my now 7-year-old daughter without explaining why. And so often, government has taken this approach of saying no because I said so, or no just because. And if I can't get away with that with my daughter, why would I expect to get it away with people who I'm having partnerships with and relationships with? And so that's been my commitment to our partners, is not saying the answer is always going to be yes, but if the answer has to be no, we will be providing a reason why. And so just with those subtle changes and approaches, I hope that we're seeing a little bit more certainty moving forward. Again, guys, I can't say enough about how much relationship is important in us all getting through this together. Like, we're all taxpayers. We're all impacted by these decisions. So none of us should be sitting on the sideline as we're moving forward and trying to get this infrastructure built.
What is one assumption about infrastructure in Alberta that you think needs to be challenged or rethought given today's economic and demographic realities?
I'll take that as government infrastructure. How about that? As opposed to infrastructure broadly.
Fair.
Is that okay? Because again, I've been traveling around. I also take a look at how other jurisdictions are building infrastructure. I do believe Albertans want good infrastructure to be built. They want stuff that lasts. They want it to be appealing. But I would challenge that most Albertans don't want their public dollars building obscene infrastructure. Like, we should not be out competing the private sector on, hey, we want the bigger, the better, the prettier. We need to build it so it is sustainable and it lasts and it's practical and it serves the needs of Albertans now and for the future. And I think broadly speaking, we do a good job of that. I really do. But I do see that some jurisdictions probably don't do it as well as we do. And I think that when I look around, I'm always going to challenge where we can improve some of those things as well. So I do tip my cap to our partners. Occasionally we will have challenging conversations on these sorts of things, but bring back your own challenges to us and make sure that you're holding us accountable to doing exactly that, building infrastructure that Albertans need and that they want and that will last for future generations.
So our last question, last but not least. If you could ask Alberta business community for one thing to help you deliver better infrastructure outcomes, what would that be?
Feedback. Is that it? No, no, guys, again, this is a partnership. And so, I mean, yes, you need to challenge us, hold us accountable, provide us good feedback when you feel it's necessary, but You guys are looking at best practices globally on a daily basis. And I want you guys to provide us that feedback. Again, connect with us directly, connect with members in my ministry. But I think that's how we can all move forward in a better way, is when you guys know that we value your thoughts, your opinions, and that we're all pulling in the same direction.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you, Minister Long. And I think Minister Long is going to be here until about 4 o'clock today for some networking opportunities if you have questions that didn't make it to the list.
Awesome. Thank you both. And now we have Ross Undershoot, President of Open Circle, our platinum sponsor, for the official thank you.
Minister Long, can I come back? Or? Sure. Okay. Minister, do you want to come back? Yeah, you got to both come back. My name is Ross Undershoot. I'm the president of Open Circle. So you're going to be bookended by benefits here. So I'm sure everybody's richer for that. And I know I'll keep it short because I'm the last thing keeping you from the bar. So Open Circle's Alberta's largest construction-only association. We're led by industries partners and actual business leaders, two of which are in the room here right now. Two of my bosses, Chris Ambrosic from Scorpio Masonry and Alan Keisers from PCL. We are committed to working with the minister, and we know his ambitious plans are going to require a lot of people. Open Circle has provided $11 million in tuition reimbursement over the last 10 years, $32 million since 2000. So I'll keep it short. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you, Catherine and AEG, for putting this on. And I understand there's some presents under here, which include butter tarts, so I'm only going to give out the presents. I'll keep the butter tarts, and then you guys can get to the bar. So thank you, Minister Long.
Thank you, Ross. Homemade butter tarts. Only Bruno, right, Bruno? Anyway, okay, thanks, everybody. Now we're going to do the business card draw. Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Very good. Thank you. Gary with Abalone Group. Perfect. Awesome. Welcome to AG. You'll have a 6-month membership and we'll cover you with spam. Our upcoming events will be with Minister Sawney. We're going to have her join us here in Edmonton and also in Calgary. The discussion will be on Indigenous-led partnerships. We will have CNRL join us with support on who will be on the pre-panel, like we did with Minister Glubish. So we'll have a panel discussion, and then we'll have Minister Sawney again in both cities. And then Minister Glubish has also committed to having an event with us in Calgary. We'll keep you posted on when that date is set. And our networking will start now with some photo ops, I think, with Minister, like the George Costanza. Remember that one? He said he'd do that. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Enjoy the networking.